Excellent. Well, good morning to you all. I am so happy to see you at our May Accelerator call. If this is your first time in an Accelerator call, please put the number 1 in the chat so we can see who is new and we can welcome you. Welcome Karen and Carla and Eileen and Cynthia and Katie. Welcome to Elena and Catherine and Ed and Harvinder. Welcome. And Mark Schubach. Welcome. So happy to have you here. So every year around this time, I am reminded of the day I was laid off from a job I loved. This shared experience with you is what helps me to host these accelerator calls every single month. I hope that by joining us, you find a community that supports you in your journey to find your next job. That's what we're doing here. This year, I'm especially excited to celebrate my 10th anniversary of my company's forming. Yay, 10 years. It's been a journey filled with growth and learning and love, and most importantly, support from this amazing community. I'm truly grateful for each and every one of you, whether it's your first time or whether you've been joining us for 4 years. The Accelerator Group has been around since the beginning of COVID, so we're going on well over 4 years now, and we have these meetings every month. I formed my company, which is AIM Resource Group, to help professionals navigate their career journeys. Since 2014, I've been honored to help so many people with job search strategies, LinkedIn profile coaching, and interview prep. We are going to raffle off a book today. Actually, we're raffling off 2 books, but the first one we're raffling off is my book to celebrate. It's You Are the CEO of Your Career. I don't know if you can all see that. And we're going to raffle it off. And the way we're going to select our winner is, oh, Eileen has a copy. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. The way we're going to select our winner is, you all know that I incorporated in May of 2014. What you don't know is the date I incorporated. And so if you're interested in receiving a book and being the winner of this great prize, I will sign it for you if you like. I'd like you to put in the chat your name and a date, the date that you think that I incorporated. So it's got to be a number between 1 and 31. And the one who comes closest, or the first one who hits the exact date, will win. We only one guess per person. So I'm watching as we go through, and I'll let you know if we hit the exact number or if we're going to go with who's the closest. I see a May 11th. I see a 21st. I see a 5th. No one has hit it yet. So keep guessing if you like. But I see a couple that are close. Let's. Nope. Good guesses. Good guesses. Nope. I think, okay, wait a second. Okay, here we go. Not yet. Not yet. I can't believe that we didn't get one on the right day yet. All right. Oh, we have a winner. We have a winner, Miss Carla Harris. It was May 2nd. Carla, can you say hello to everyone?
Sure.
That's
my second guess. Hopefully that's okay.
Congratulations, Carla Harris. Carla, can you get me your address at some point today so that I can mail it out to you?
Sure thing.
Appreciate it. Well, go, Carla. Excellent. So yeah, May 2nd, I incorporated. So here's the thing. I was laid off like April 15th. By May 2nd, I had already incorporated. So I didn't let too much time go before the time that I said I need to do something, and that's something I'm going to try and start this company. And so we are thrilled that you guys are here. If you're not a member yet of our LinkedIn, private LinkedIn community, please, Lori's going to drop a link into the chat so you can join us. If you have not yet said hello to everyone, put your LinkedIn URL into the chat so that everyone knows who you are. And you can also talk about what kind of job you like, because you never know who's on this call who might find the exact role for you. So please introduce yourself to the group, put your URL into the chat, and just let us know what kind of job you're looking for. If you are not Carla and you did not win my book, Lori's going to also put in the link to the Amazon. If you'd like to try it out, you're welcome to take a look at it, Amazon. And as I mentioned, we host this group every single month. And next month, I want you to mark your calendars. June 11th, my friend and LinkedIn expert and resume expert, Virginia Franco, is joining us, and she's going to answer all of your questions live. Or any question you have about resumes and LinkedIn best practices, join us on June 11th. That link is already up. Lori's going to put that into the chat also, but registration is now open for that event. I know we had over 100 people registered for Joey's event, so I'm hoping that we beat that number for Virginia's, because she knows everything that you need to know about resumes. Any question you have, that's the opportunity for that. What else? Okay, before I give Joey hand over the mic to Joey, we like to collect golden nuggets of learning in these calls. And what's a golden nugget? A golden nugget are things that you hear that you want to remember and that you want to pass on to other people. We love to pass on good information. And so if you put a golden nugget into our chat, then I'm going to take those golden nuggets. I'm going to create a post tomorrow that's going to include the link for the recording to our YouTube channel, and also enable people who are not able to join our call to learn from the great Joey. One of the things that I enjoy most about being host of the Accelerator group is that I get to meet tons of great people, and I get to introduce you to people who you may not know. So if you do not yet know Joey Himelfarb, you should get to know him, and you will after today. But if you do know him, you know that he's all about positivity and keeping a positive attitude, and he believes that we sell every single day. And I think that's kind of true. And that being negative doesn't really serve a purpose. But certainly when you're in a job search, it can get very lonely and it can get very frustrating at times. I know, I've been there. I help career searchers all day long, and I know how frustrating it can get. So this is a great opportunity to hear what Joey has to say. And if you stick around to the end of the call, Joey is going to raffle off his book also, which is Joey's going to tell us about his book, how to paint your kitchen or something, right? Joey, I'm close, right? Something about painting your kitchen. Don't paint your kitchen or something, right?
Yeah, that's close enough, Mindy.
All right, so I'm going to pass it over to Joey. Let's give Joey a highlight if we can, so we can all see him. Joey is going to be talking, but we do encourage you, if you have questions, just raise your hand. You all know where the raise hand feature is. It's generally under the more. Mine is under my more button. I'm going to raise it right now. So if you see that, and if you would like to ask a question, Joey, Ed is already asking a question, or are you just practicing, Ed? I'm going to lower my hand. Just raise your hands. Just practicing? Okay. All right, good. So we all know how to do that. The other thing I wanted to mention to you, there could be some great information in the chat. And so if you see those 3 little dots in the chat and you click on them, you can save the chat, which is great. Where is my save the chat? I'm going to do that right now before I forget. And that way you get to save all the information in the chat. Okay, so Joey, without further ado, I present to you the fabulous Joey Himelfarb.
Thank you, Mindy. Appreciate it. Good morning, all. Or good evening, or good afternoon, wherever you are. So, for those of you who don't know me, a quick introduction. Born in Brooklyn, raised in Yonkers, went to school in Buffalo. So I'm a true blue New Yorker, even though I live in New Jersey now. So here's a disclaimer, if you will. Because I'm from New York, I can speak really quickly, and I apologize for that. I also can use some very colorful language. I'll do my best not to do that, since this will be on YouTube eventually. But I was in sales for 20 plus years, and I was laid off many times, was looking for work many times, was like you many times. And when I was laid off from one of my last jobs, I was sent to Lee Hecht Harrison, which is a outplacement organization. I did my 3 month stint there. When I was done, they said, "We want you to go to this networking group up north." And I said, "What's a networking group?" Because this was back in 2003, and they were few and far between. I didn't even know what they were. They said, "Well, you go to this group, and they meet once a week, and this must happen to be the Y, and they sit around a room, and people who are unemployed like you support each other. And they traipse in speakers, and these speakers teach you how to write resumes, how to research companies, how to dress for an interview, technical type stuff." So I went, and I enjoyed it, and it was fun. It was great, and I was happy to be around my brethren, if you will. But then it got to the point where I was paying attention to how people were behaving in these meetings, and people were not happy. They were upset. Some of them were downright despondent. Some of them even mean and bitter. And I said, "Look, I've been in sales for a while, and I got to be around people that are positive and upbeat. Secondly, you maintain this attitude that the world owes you a job. You're going to be here next year. No one's going to hire you because you're not doing a good job of selling yourself." And as soon as I said that, I had that proverbial epiphany. And I said, "You know what? I love to sell, and I love to present, which you'll soon find out. And so why don't I be one of these speakers that talks to these people and teaches them how to sell themselves on the job search?" Because my contention is we sell every day. We sell to our colleagues, our neighbors, our spouses, our children, whoever we're around. We're always selling our thoughts, ideas, whatever. And so I extrapolated what I've learned from selling and geared it towards the job seeker. Called up the moderator the next day, showed him my quick outline. He says, "Yeah, you want to come and do that?" So I thought I'd do it once or twice, slink back into the audience, and do my good deed for the community, if you will. That was 2003. It's 2024. People would come up to me after my presentations and say, "Where's your book?" So what book? People make these presentations, they sell their books, and they even sell tapes. Remember tapes? So I didn't do a tape, but I said, "I don't want to write a book. It's a big house to write a book, Joey." So I eventually wrote a book, and it's called "Don't Paint Your Kitchen." I'll get into why it's called that in a second, but it's effectively my synopsis, if you will, and it's not gospel. It's my take on how selling is a science. We know there's a science to selling, but there's also an art. And you can take what I've learned about selling and translate that to the job search. And when I make my presentations, I try to convince is the wrong word, persuade. I try to persuade job seekers to stop thinking of themselves as job seekers and think of themselves as salespeople. And then I always get the guy or the gal who says, "I don't like salespeople. They're sleazy. I think of snake oil salesman. I think about the used car." I said, "Look, that may be. Those are not the people I want you to think about. I want you to think about you as a problem solver, because that's what salespeople do." I mean, I have degrees in physics and mechanical engineering. I have derived every formula known to man. And I don't use that anymore, but I use the process of solving problems. And every problem has a solution. I may not have it right away, but it's out there. And with that mindset and that mentality, there isn't anything you can't solve, especially looking for work. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen in a day, which I'm sure most of you can attest to. It may not even take a week. It may not even take a year. You know that, right? But if you're going to be downtrodden and walk around with your tail between your legs and your chin on your chest and say, "Woe is me," who's going to want to talk to you, let alone hire you? Would you talk to you if you were walking around moping around all day and saying, "The world stinks, the world owes me a job, I hate the economy, I hate the president, I hate the Congress, I hate the market, I hate you"? Nobody wants that, right? People are busy. Hiring managers are busy. So if you don't remember anything else from this conversation, and by the way, there's no PowerPoint. This is just, we're having a conversation, right? So raise your hand, write something in the chat. I'm not paying attention to the chat. So Mindy, maybe somebody could keep track of that, but I'm looking for hand raises. But this is just we're having a conversation, right? If you don't remember anything else, remember this: when it comes to selling yourself, the irony is that it's not about you. It's about them. It's about your client, your customer, or in your case, the hiring managers. They are more interested in themselves than they are you, believe it or not, right? I see Al shaking his head, right? They don't, listen, they don't care about you. Right? All they want to know is two things. Can you do the job? And they can probably tell that from your resume, assuming you haven't lied. And I know nobody here on this call would lie about what's on the resume. But B, more importantly, they want to know, will you fit in to our group? That they got to tell. They won't tell that from your resume, not even your LinkedIn profile. They got to meet you mano a mano and have a conversation and talk to you and watch you and look at the nonverbal cues and see how you behave and react to the questions that they ask and the conversation that you have. They don't care about you unless you either embezzled funds or hurt somebody at the other company. They're not interested, right? What can you do for them that whoever they have on their plate right now can't do, right? And that's why it's so important to be able to sell that, right? Because other than your mother, no one's going to sell you better than you can, right? And when it comes to your job search, you don't want your mother selling you anyway, right? So you're in charge, right? You're not 3 years old. You're 33 plus. You're an adult. Take responsibility. Take the bull by the horns, right? And sell yourself. I talk about how we all have SATs, right? Skills, abilities, and talents. All of us. Everybody on this call has a unique set of skills, abilities, and talents that make them special and unique, right? If we all pitched, who'd play shortstop? Wouldn't happen. If we played the outfield, who would catch, right? So everybody brings to the table their set of skills. We need you to sell those skills to the world. You do that by articulating what you did over there yesterday and how you can do it over there tomorrow, right? You do that on your resume, you do it in your LinkedIn profile, and of course you do it in your interview. But if you don't remember anything else, please, it's not about you. It's about them, right? Which means that you've done your homework. You figured out who you are, where you've been and where you're going, and you've tried to match that to the employers that are out there. Now, I've been on many calls, some of you have been with me, and you've heard people talk about how, oh, I submitted 500 resumes, I've applied to 250 jobs, I've gotten 0 interviews. Well, that's because you're sending your resume and your cover letters and your applications into a machine that's reading your resume and your cover letter and your application. It's taking 6 seconds, if that, maybe 6 milliseconds to decide whether you should come through the gate, if you will, right? That's not how you do it. You got to network with people that you know. Everybody you know knows 250 people you don't know. And those 250 people know an additional 250 that you don't know. So can you imagine the possibilities if you talk to Mindy and say, Mindy, do you know anybody who works at this company? Mindy goes, I do. I happen to know somebody named Al. Give me your resume. So when Mindy hands her resume to Al, who knows Mindy, all of a sudden your resume has now risen up to the pile of resumes, and you're going to get first dibs, probably, right? So that's a whole nother book that people have written about, is networking. I will tell you this: if you look at your career path and you look at the people you've worked with in your life, I guarantee you dollars to donuts, whatever that means. I don't even know what that means, right? But I guarantee you, if you look at the people you've worked for, you did not know them before your interview. You may become friends with them, but it wasn't because you just happened to meet them. Somebody introduced you. Dollars to donuts. Somebody introduced you to somebody you work for, and it was because of that introduction that you got the job. Today what happens is, because you're stuck in the muck and the mire, and you're sitting in the forest, and you don't see the trees, and you're all discombobulated, and you're all upset, it's taking you too long to find work, the bills keep coming in, you don't realize at your fingertips is a network that you have created since the day you were born. And what I suggest to people who are a little bit older, who've been around for a while, go back to grade school, go back to middle school, go back to high school, go back to people who you haven't spoken to in 20, 30, 40 years. Rekindle those conversations. Pick up a phone. Look how I do this. Pick up a phone and call these people, right? Call them. Don't text them. Don't send them an email. Find out where they live, get their phone number, and call them and say, how you doing? How's it been? And start from where you left off. And it'll feel that way. It'll feel like you just had a conversation with them an hour ago. Eventually, the conversation will lead to all about you and what you're doing and whatever. And who knows who they know? You don't know. So if you don't make those calls, nothing's going to happen. I guarantee that. If you make the call, the possibilities are endless. So I'm going to stop there. I've said a lot, I apologize, but is there anything anybody wants to say, suggest, challenge me? I'm crazy, right on, you got it. Joey, keep going. Anybody? Once, twice. I don't want to see any hands raised.
Joey, I'm going to ask a question.
Please, yeah. Okay, Kristen. All right, sorry. Then Kristen. Mindy, then Kristen.
Okay. Oh, and I see Greg has his hand up also.
Okay.
I'm going to hold my question.
All right.
So we let some of these folks
Kristen,
talk.
why don't you go first?
I see.
So Kristen raised her hand. Why don't you go first?
Kristen raised her hand. Okay, I don't see it.
Sure, no problem. Thank you. So, you know, I totally believe in the networking thing. It has gotten me more openings than, you know, just the rage apply. And I will admit I'm in the 700 club, you know, the not happy 700 club.
Right.
But the challenge that I have is even sometimes, and maybe it's the outliers, but it's the challenge of you have a networking connection at the company. They put your resume through their workday portal or whatever, and you still get nothing. And nothing is, you know, okay, maybe I'm not the right person for the job, but, you know, I've heard, yes, it gets you to the pile, but there are some, and maybe again, they're big companies, maybe it's the outliers, but that's probably even more frustrating than the just plain blind apply. And I don't know if you guys have any tricks, like if there's something else that the employee, you know, a friend, a former colleague can do to get us in that pile. But I'm just speaking from experience with a few that have been like, really? I didn't get anything on that.
Yeah, and you're right, Kristen. It happens, right? It's unfortunate. It happens to the best of us, even people like you, right? It's crazy. Like, how could they pass me over, right? I'm Kristen, right? What are they, nuts, right? So, but yeah, it happens. So all I can say is it happens. I know you don't want to hear this, right? But what's your alternative? To do nothing, right? We have a saying in sales, right? It's SW cubed N, which stands for some will, some won't, so what? Next. If you've done the right thing and given your resume to Mindy, who hands it off to Al, who doesn't get you anywhere, there's somebody else to talk to. Right? I know that's not what you want to hear, Kristen, but you don't have what are you going to keep banging your head with this one company, and unless you're so adamant that you definitely want this job, it's the job for you, and come hell or high water, I'm not leaving until you tell me to leave, then I'd say keep plugging away. But at some point, you're like, okay, my head hurts. Right. My head hurts from banging against the wall. I gotta move on. So I don't know if that helps, but that's no, it's right.
It's aligning with what I thought, but just sometimes it's a tougher pill to swallow, I guess, is my whole point. So got to keep going. Thanks.
Okay. All right, Greg.
Kristen, I'm just gonna add a little bit to what Joey said. Sometimes we are not the best judge of our own materials. And so it might be helpful to you to have an unbiased person take a look at your resume, take a look at your LinkedIn profile to see if there's something maybe that you're missing. And I will tell you that frequently when I take on a new client and they tell me that story, I've applied to 400 jobs in the last year and I have nothing, crickets. It doesn't take a lot to change a few things to make that person a perfect candidate. So I would encourage you to have someone who's impartial take a look at those marketing materials that you're using, just to make sure that it's spot on. And maybe it is, I don't know, I haven't seen it, but just take the opportunity to see if maybe there's something that you can tweak or change to promote yourself a little bit better.
Yeah, and it has changed since I've done that, so thank you.
Oh, good. I'm glad
to
hear that.
Greg, what's up?
I think
Yep,
Greg
absolutely.
was next.
Sure. So I want to say that I'm currently employed with a contract gig, right? So I was out of work for about 6 months and I had, needed income, right? So I took something that came along. I did get that through networking, through individuals that I'd worked with in the past, not for some years, actually, not quite back to high school, but it was, probably about 10 years, but, we had good relationships there. And then also I had another interview that was not successful, but that was directly related to another networking contact. And then probably about a year later, and that was probably an older story, but then a year later, another opportunity came up just to kind of give everybody, a full spectrum, where it was same company, knew the same couple of people, and I reached out to them. And that time I did not even get an interview. So it's going to be hit or miss, right, in those circumstances. And also, I'm also conscious of, as time goes on, I don't want to, or maybe I might ask you, Joey, what a good balance would be. You don't want to keep hitting up the same people over and over, right? If your search is an extended amount of time and things like that, I want to make sure I'm not wearing out my welcome either.
That's what I just told Kristen, is that, unless you want to work for this company, right? You got to decide. I can't tell you what, it's you got to go with your gut, right? What feels right, right? Think about if the shoe was on the other foot. If you were the one who was working and somebody was, for lack of a better word, badgering you about getting into the company, right? How many times would that person have to reach out to you for you to say, enough is enough? Yeah. Right? Some people, it's enough. Some people can't say no. Some people can't take no for an answer. Okay. Sometimes that works. A lot of times it doesn't. Right. So you just, again, you got to thine own self be true. Right. You gotta go with your gut and do what you think is right. I know that's what you don't want to hear, but I think it's only fair. These people are busy. Yes. They're really busy. They're under the gun. I'm going to say it again. They don't care about you. They care about themselves. So you're just a number until or unless you can sell what you have that they need. It's going to be a challenge. It's really going to be a challenge. In sales, they teach us in sales. This is the science part. And you guys, you get postcards in the mail every day from Renewal by Andersen windows, waterproofing your basement, right? Eye contact lenses, right? All these people wanted to take money from you, right? You don't even you don't even have a basement. You don't even have windows that you think have to be replaced, but they're taking a chance, right? We know that in sales, a customer needs to be touched 7 to 10 times, 7 to 10 times before the customer even acknowledges the business. Sometimes, like, I'm never going to respond to Renewal by Andersen and say, stop calling me. I get the card, I put it in recycle, right? But I'm one, but they're sending out thousands of these things. Someone's going to respond. Okay. Good luck. But that's what selling is. If that's how you want to spend your day, sending out resumes to everybody who has an address, okay, good luck. Let me know how that works out. It's going to be tough. Be focused. Be targeted. Find out who you are and where you want to work. Right?
Thanks.
Okay. Sorry, long answer to a short question. I apologize. But
Julie is next.
yes, Julie.
Oh, yes. Okay. When you said about connections, and having your resume to the top of the pile, I've had a couple of them, but I'm just going to talk about one specifically. I did get the interview. Unfortunately, I didn't get moved on, but I still wanted to reach out to, I used to work with her, and I've reached out to her a couple times, not, like, oh, but another job, because she's the one that initially said, hey, why don't I put your send on your resume. Mm-hmm. But I just want to meet with her just as a social, because we haven't spoken in quite a while. I've reached out to her a couple times, nothing. Right. So I guess in that theory, I mean, how many more other times can you reach out to somebody? They got to reciprocate too, in that regard. But
do that. Who says, right? We're people, right? For what it's worth, Julie, right? If you go back to Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, one of his major tenets was be interested in the other person before you're interesting, right? So you ask enough questions and generate enough interest in the other person, they may reciprocate, they may not.
Right.
Again, some will, some won't. So what? Next. You got to decide at what point am I done, right? And that's what you got to do. It's not what you want to hear, but you call her up or you send and say, look, I tell you what, let's not even talk about work. We're friends. Let's just go out and have a cup of coffee, right? I just want to talk to you. I just need somebody to talk to. We're not going to bring up work. I'm not going to talk about my career. Let's talk about you. Right now, I guarantee. Oh yeah, I'll meet you for coffee. Sure, Julie. Right, because now because she is thinking you're looking for work. Pressure is on. Nobody wants to hurt your feelings. Nobody wants to deal with that. It's frustrating. Trust me, I've been on both sides. I'm sure many of you as well. Right? It's really tough until you're talking to somebody who's been in your boat, been in your shoes. They can't empathize. They cannot empathize because they don't know what it's like to be in your shoes.
Or
There
you
are
hear,
eight. Sorry?
or they say, well, certain ones, well, you haven't found a job yet? How's the job status going? And like you said, they have to be in your shoes because then they think it's just something automatic you're going to get, and if you're they might think you might be too picky on what you're looking for in certain aspects. I'm just saying in general.
You got to be interested in them before they're interested in you. Although you got to give. That's how it works.
Right. I have reached out, even a couple of them, not necessarily, hey, let's get together for lunch or that. Oh yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll let you know. Crickets.
Julie, people are busy. Don't take it
Oh,
personally.
I know.
As a job seeker, you're now your shields are down, and you are susceptible to the arrows and the slings and all the crap, excuse my French, that's being thrown at you. It's tough. You're not a machine. You're a human being, right? There's going to come a day when I'll be talking. You won't even know if I'm a machine. You don't even know if I'm real or not, right? There's going to come a day when you won't even know, right? But until that happens, you're talking with human beings. Human beings have feelings and emotions, and they have baggage, and it's tough. You've got to check your sales 101. Check your ego at the door. It's not about you, Mr. and Mrs. Salesperson. It's about the client. It's about the customer. It's about the hiring. They don't care about us. They care about themselves. That's all they care about. Because while you're trying to get a call into them, they've got a list of things they got to accomplish. I don't even know what that list is. Tremendous, right? Has nothing to do. Your name's not even on the list. You're an interruption, right? So don't take it personally.
Right.
Joey, we have
things I'm not taking personally.
Yep. Yes, Mindy. I'm
Joey,
sorry.
we have 3 more questions and we're running short on time. So Al is next, and then Scott, and then Nicole.
Okay.
I wanted to add, was this me, Al?
Yes.
Okay. Wanted to add to that. How about setting up some Google alerts? And you don't want to be pushy, but how about if you actually send something to somebody and the subject line reads, saw this, thought of you.
Yep.
And then you can add just not anything about job search,
right,
but I saw this article and made me think of you, and that's it.
Excellent. Excellent suggestion. I highly recommend that. Great, Al. Thank you. That is showing them that you're interested in them. That's it. They may respond, they may not. That's it. You did a good deed, right? You're planting seeds. You know why the cornfields have a lot of corn? Because the farmers don't know which seeds are going to take ground and grow. Some are going to get eaten by the birds. Some will get blown away by the wind. Some are just diseased. They won't even root. So the farmers don't know. So they say, throw all the seeds out. Let's see what happens, right? That's what you got to do. Every connection you make, every phone call, every email, every text is a seed. Some will take and some won't. You don't know. You don't know. So just be good. Do good. Thanks, Al.
Al, I recommend that approach all the time, looking for content that would be interesting to the people that you are interested in, and just sharing that content just keeps you top of mind. Keep that in your mind. You want to be top of mind for people because the job you're looking for may not be available today, but maybe it's going to be available in a week from today when you find that one article. That has happened over and over again to me. So just keep an eye on content and sharing it very freely.
Yep. Who's next, Mindy?
We have Nicole next.
Nicole next. Come on down.
Okay, so one of the things that I'm running into right now with this particular round of job searching, usually I am able to reach out to people, network, that sort of thing, but it's also, I've always had like a sort of feast or famine thing when it comes to my job searching because I always end up doing a lot of contract work. And this time around, I'm not really able to get my information out there as easily with the networking as I've been able to do in the past. And I'm not really sure like what to do from here. And I know that it's kind of hit or miss and that sort of thing. But if I'm just like going down to the bare realistic part of it, I do have to be able to cover my bills, and I know based off my budget that I'll be able to do that and keep a roof over my head through the month of June. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, I know it takes time, that sort of thing, but I really, really need to find something. And at this point, I'm just hitting brick wall after brick wall after brick wall.
It's a challenge, Nicole. I don't have I don't have a golden bullet for you, if I may. I hear what you're saying. It's a challenge, which is why it's important to remain focused. It's important to not, what happens to you happens to, no, I'm talking to everybody, not just you, Nicole, but what happens to you happens to everybody. It's how you react and respond to what's happening that separates you from everybody else. So you've got to stay focused and you've got to keep plugging along, because it is what it is. I don't listen to what the market is doing. It doesn't matter what the market is doing. I need to find work, and I don't want to do anything. This is what I want to do, and I'm going to remain focused, and I'm going to do my best. Now, at some point, your focus is going to have to open up a little bit, and that's okay. Maybe you are too focused, Nicole. I don't know. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're not focused enough. Who knows, right? I can't speak. I don't know. I don't have the answer for that, but it's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge. I do know this. You can't sit home eating bonbons, assume the fetal position, and suck your thumb. I know you can't do that, because that's not going to help, right? You got to take the bull by the horns and just keep plugging away. Make friends in a group like this with other groups. Make sure the people that you know who know a lot of people know what you're trying to do. Not your network necessarily, but the people who work on your car, your hairdresser, your doctors, a lawyer, an accountant, people that service a lot of people, who talk to a lot of people. They're your feet on the street. They're the ones who can help you. And that's why it comes back to, you're not telling these people to help you find a job. You want them to help you find the job that you want. And they're going to understand you better if you can tell them that, if you can articulate what you want to do and why you want to do it. That makes it easy for them. You can't just say, I'm looking for work, because I know they're hiring at Wendy's or Applebee's, right? The local movie theater. I don't know if that's what you want to do. That's great. But I'm betting people on this call don't want to do that. They want the job, right? But what's the job? You got to figure that out. Nobody can do that for you. Not even your mother, right? You got to do that and help those people who are out there sell you. That help, Nicole?
Hey, Nicole.
I guess.
Nicole, I'm going to give you a golden opportunity. Tell everyone on this call, I'm going to put you on the spot, in a very short, maybe 2 sentences, what kind of job you're looking for, so that we can all keep our ears open for you and share opportunities with you. What are you looking for, Nicole?
Okay, so basically, I tend to work mostly in automotive, but my skills are really transferable to multiple different industries. I am a person that organizes information and data. I'm not a programmer, but I do handle, basically, if you have a goo gob of data and it's all over the place, I get that organized in a manner that's going to be more efficient for your employees to be able to use, especially engineers. So I'm basically like the cleanup person of information. And I'm looking for something along those lines. Again, basically this time around, I can do everything from pretty much anything in Excel. I can make dashboards. I'm good at connecting databases. If you already have multiple programs, I can actually create and build SharePoints. And I'm one of those people, I can sit down, I catch on to something really, really quick, and then I add to it to make it better. So I'm looking for something that allows me to use my skills in information management, data management, and information analysis to be able to build an actual career as opposed to another job.
Gotcha. Okay, so that was your opportunity. We have, I don't know, a lot of people on this call. So if you know something, and where are you looking, Nicole? Are you looking for remote, or are you looking for something to be on site?
I'm good with remote or on site. I live in the Novi area of Michigan. So I'm
okay.
trying to find something that's not like on the other side of the universe.
You got it. Okay, good.
But you know, yeah, I'm pretty open as far as that goes because I'm one of those people I can make it work. So
Okay.
yeah.
Excellent. So you know that the job seekers who are on this call today,
Mhm.
next week maybe have jobs, and they may need someone just like you, Nicole. So it's very good to start thinking about the type of jobs that you're looking for and really target those jobs.
Okay.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much. Joey, we have some time left.
Okay.
Would you like to talk about your book
Sure.
and raffle it off to someone and see who's going to be our winner?
Yeah. Let me, I promised I would tell you why the book is called Don't Paint Your Kitchen. So one of the tenets of a good salesperson is their discipline, their sense of discipline, if you will. So, and I tell people that discipline is just doing what you have to do, even though you don't want to do it. And you all know this, right? Sometimes it's easy to do, sometimes it's really hard, sometimes you don't want to do it. It's just a pain in the you know what. But discipline is critical. And so the story I share with people when I make my presentations is that if you buy into this concept that I'm sharing with you, that we sell every day, and you're really gung-ho about all this, then maybe tomorrow, if not this afternoon, you're going to sit in your kitchen with your laptop or your desktop, whatever you're working on, right? And you're going to start doing an assessment about yourself. You're going to start interviewing, researching company, whatever you're going to do, right? And while you're doing that, you're getting bombarded by cat video of the days, joke of the week, the breaking news in some part of the world. All this stuff is happening around you, right? And you take a break and you look up and you're in your kitchen, let's say, and you look at the kitchen and you go, you know what? This job search stinks. It's not getting me anywhere. I'm frustrating. You close the laptop and say, I'm going to paint my kitchen. All right. Some wall. So let's assume you decide to paint your kitchen. You got to put down some tape, maybe move a refrigerator, but for the most part, it'll take you maybe a day, maybe 2 tops. Okay. You do that. Then the next day, you sit down in your beautiful painted kitchen, you open up the laptop, you start banging away in your job search, you take a break, and you wait, you take your head off the screen, and you look through the kitchen into the dining room. You know it's going to be drab compared to the freshly painted kitchen. So you say, you know what? This job search stinks. I'm going to go paint my dining room. Now it's a challenge. Now you got crown molding, you got chair rail moldings, you got a beautiful chandelier, you got a break front, you got a hutch, you got a wooden a table. It costs like $10,000. You got to move things, cover things. Now it's going to take you a couple days. So now a week has gone by. You've painted your kitchen, you've painted your dining room. You haven't looked for work yet, but you've got a beautiful kitchen and dining room. That's a problem because when you open up your laptop one more time, now you're thinking, boy, I haven't been rejected. This isn't such a bad thing. I could paint all this stuff. I think I'll paint, pick your poison. The kids' rooms, the hallways, the foyer, the laundry room, the garage, whatever. So you paint your whole house, takes you a month and a half, 2 months. Okay, that's great. But in 2 months, all your competition has probably taken your job. So I tell people, don't paint your kitchen, stay focused, do your job search, deal with the rejections, move on, right? Some will, some won't. So next what, right? And move on. Get a job, get paid, hire a painter. They could do the job in a third of the time that you could do it, and they do it much better anyway, and they need the money too, right? So don't worry about your kitchen and your dining room. Worry about your job search. That's why the book is called Don't Paint Your Kitchen. Any thoughts, comments, criticisms, compliments?
We need you to share that beautiful message with someone. So how are you going to share that?
So I have a copy of the book that I'm happy to send to somebody. And this is the way we're going to do it. Speaking about dates, I'm not going to ask you when Mindy's company was incorporated because you know that already. But here's something that's near and dear to your all hearts. If your birthday is today or near today, raise your hand, let me know, and you will be the winner of my book. So anybody born on May 7th, May 5th, May 8th, May 6th, anybody? May 12th, anybody earlier than May 12th?
Christy is 12.
Christy
Anyone
is
before
12.
May
Anybody
12?
closer to today, and then other than Christy? Could have been before or after, doesn't matter. May 22nd, Katie, okay, all right. Looks like Christy may be the winner. Christy, you're getting an early birthday gift. Christy, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. A 21st birthday gift for you.
Perfect.
I'll need you to send
Christy?
me your mailing address, Christy, and I'll be happy to send you a copy. If you want, I can even sign it for you too.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
Congratulations to Christy and to Carla. Ooh, the C letters, CK, worked this day for all the winners. I thank you so much for being here. Joey, as always, your positivity shines through. So happy to have you here. So happy to have some of my friends who, Al Smith is a former presenter. Linda Brubaker is a future presenter. I think we have you in October, November, right, Linda? One of those. It's either October, November. I forgot which one.
I think it's November.
Perfect. And so you are always welcome to join us. Just watch for our events. They're monthly. I think I'm going to take August off though, but we do have June and July. And stay positive. Remember that it's just not yet. You just don't have your next job yet. You will have it. Use all the skills that you have and appreciate you every day. Thank you so much for being with us today. And we hope you have a wonderful week ahead.
Make sure you save the chat, everybody.
Save the chat, hit the 3 buttons.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Thank you, Joey, so much for all you do and
Thank you,
for
Linda.
staying positive and helping us stay positive as well.
Happy to help. Ciao. Arrivederci. Adios. Auf Wiedersehen.
When you
Shalom.
click on the 3 buttons, nothing shows up to save the chat.
Hmm.
So long, Mark.
You see
Used to
something
show
that
up
says
on the.
Zoom meeting, and then it says
Oh,
more,
I see it. I see they
and then
moved
it
it.
says save
Okay.
chat. You got it?
Got it. Thank you. Thank you.
Quite welcome. It's confusing, I know, Eileen.
Okay.
See you guys next time.
Take care,
June
Mindy.
11th.
Thanks again.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Joey.